Welcome to this stateless codecast. This is episode number 54 in our series nerddice.com, where we build a Ruby on Rails app for managing tabletop role-playing. And we are in the midst of our path from Rails 7.0 to Rails 8.0. In our previous videos, we've upgraded Ruby to the newest version. And then in our second video, upgraded Tailwind CSS from version 3 to version 4. That was its own video's worth of hassle. And in the previous video, we did both upgrading the rest of the bundle, excluding Rails, to the newest versions, and then upgrading Rails from version 7.0 to 7.1. So in this video, we'll be continuing on upgrading Rails from 7.1 to 7.2. And if there's a more in-depth introduction back at the very beginning of the first video of this kind of series of Rails 7 to Rails 8 dealing with this GitHub issue. So if you are interested in learning more about the introduction part of things, you can go back to that video, or you can watch all the videos up until this point to kind of get caught up. So we've got our upgrading Ruby on Rails guide. So you can find this at guides.rubyonrails.org. And then there's, if you search for upgrading, there's the upgrading Ruby on Rails guide here. We have already upgraded Ruby to the latest version, which as of the recording time is 3.4.3. And we've upgraded from Rails 7.0 to 7.1. And now we're going to take a look at upgrading from 7.1 to 7.2. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to, as we did in the previous video where we moved from the latest patch version of 7.0 to the latest patch version of 7.1, we'll do the same thing to go from 7.1 to 7.2. Then we'll run the update task, run our tests, run a visual kind of regression as like manually to make sure that things are good. And then we are going to deal with configuring the framework defaults. In our previous video, I was just able to change the defaults from 7.0 to 7.1, rerun my tests and manual test, and everything worked. So I didn't have to enable them kind of one by one or anything like that. So I just at the end deleted the generated new framework defaults file without committing it in the git commit. So let's find the latest version we've got here. Releases, this is Tailwind CSS. This is Rails. So we're looking for 7.2. Make this 7.2.2.1. Looks like our latest version here. So go into our Gemfile. I'm also going to attempt to 2.2 to remove these temporary items that were upgraded only to get Rails 7.0 passing on Ruby 3.4. I'm going to see if I can do away with those and return the Gemfile to the state it was in. Hopefully now with a later version of Rails, I no longer need to specify those gems manually in my Gemfile. I've also, let me take a look at my Gemfile.lock. We've also resolved the issue with, I think, concurrent Ruby, where in Rails 7.0, yeah, in 7.0, I had to manually hold this to 1.3.4 and was actually modified it right here in the Gemfile.lock a couple times as we were upgrading Tailwind and doing some other things there. So let's see what we've got here. We're going to run a bundle update here. All the other gems should be their latest versions. So if something came out in the last couple hours between the last time I updated the bundle, we'll just let it update. So everything went up to 7.2.2.1. Run our tests here. So everything's good from a testing standpoint before we try to run the upgrade script. Now we'll run the upgrade script. It can be found here, bin Rails app update. Hit clear here. And we've got a conflict in config Puma. Okay, I think I'm just gonna let that overwrite, and then we'll take a look at the git diff before we commit as well. So conflicts in development. This is probably related to the email host that we've got here, but we'll take a look at the diff there. Cache control stuff. Let me make sure, just to be safe, that my email host stuff for devise, that I've at least got it available if it gets blown away. I'll let the overwrite happen. We'll not save, and then load the version that got written here. And I do need to repopulate that. I'll probably need to do the same thing in test when we get there. Production, take a look at the diff. Yeah, we'll let that overwrite. Test, let that overwrite. We will go back to test.rb here. Make sure our values here. Look at the diff here. That is just changing a comment, changing the array notation, it looks like, and RuboCop might toggle that back to what it was, but we'll let it happen. Let that get status here. So we've got our bin RuboCop file. Let's see what happens when, considering that we already had gems bundler setup. Okay, it looks like it's just creating a bin stub. So like I've been running bundle exec RuboCop. Now I can run bin RuboCop for 06 unsupported browser. And then we'll take a look at our diff. So this is our gemfile.lock stuff. Okay, that's in our bin setup. Changing a period. That's formatting changes. Okay, that uncommented the annotate item there. That added some more comments. Okay, that is changes in how prod does logging. Okay, needed by devise. We still have it there, we just moved it down a few lines. All right. Change the defaults for Puma. And that does it. Let's take a look now at our new framework defaults. Validation, migrations, widget. It is a shorter list than the previous ones, but I think I'm gonna follow the same initial pattern. So I'm gonna go into application.rb. I'm going to change the defaults from 7.1 to 7.2, and then we'll rerun our tests, see if anything breaks, do our manual test, and see if anything breaks. And then if it does, then we'll go more granular in terms of how we enable things. So got that. Now attempt to run my tests. Everything looks good from that regard. We'll try running bin RuboCop. All right, 12 detected, 10 autocorrectable. No offenses detected. Let's see. I think that was mostly just the changes that were made by the framework itself, because I don't see anything from anywhere else that got changed. Now we'll run bin dev. We'll reload here. So we'll sign up with our example.com account here. Get our token from the log. In real life, this would be emailed to you, or emailed to the user, but this allows me locally to simulate the confirmation. And now we're going to log in, manage my account, going to cancel my account. Shouldn't be able to log in anymore. And we can't. So now that all looks good. Take a look at the release notes here. So I do want to add to my controller here the allow browser versions modern constraint. So we'll go into ApplicationController. Now I need to rerun my tests. I'm not going to install an old browser and test that it gets rejected, but we'll at least go back. I'm also not going to go through the whole, oh, that is not the command I wanted to run. Do a git status and git add dot git commit. Write my message. All right, I've got my commit message here. It's very similar to the one I did to go from 7.0 to 7.1. I did note the changes about the removal of the temporary gems and adding that modern browser versions constraint. So close that. We'll close our saved files, which thankfully is all of them. And oh, I forgot. Hold on. I committed that commented initializers file that I no longer need because everything worked with the new framework defaults. So we'll git rm that, git commit amend, no edit, git log, git push. While we're waiting for that to run, take a look at our issue, and we will mark off 7.1 to 7.2, assuming our build passes. Let that finish. All right, so our build is green. We will stop there and I'll upgrade from 7.2 to Rails 8 in the next video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on all these videos. You can go back a few videos and watch the whole series if you'd like. If this video helped you, please hit the like button, drop a comment. We appreciate your time and attention in watching these videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Code along on an end-to-end journey through the creation, design, and development of a Ruby on Rails application for managing tabletop role-playing games. We start from Rails new and will guide you along the journey of the entire lifecycle of the application. You'll get to see real-life, real-world problems and challenges as we try to deliver value for our users. Visit statelesscode.com to level up. I didn't think I was in sync.
Hack the stateless code.
Nerd dice.